I feel like my mom has taken my daughter, and I don't believe at any point she has any intention to give her back. My mom's constantly holding my addiction over my head. It's a never-ending cycle, and I feel like I can never win. Avery was with me nearly 2 years before my mom took her back. My mom's reasoning for taking Avery back the second time is I had threatened to go use drugs, and a week or so later, I did relapse. My mom and I had an agreement that I would complete outpatient treatment, and after I would get Avery back. All of a sudden, my mom tells me that I can no longer make decisions for Avery and that she's going to remain in her care. I couldn't believe my mom, somebody who's supposed to love me no matter what, would do that to me.
You trying to get Mama?
For the last year and 2 months, Avery has lived with my mother. My mom's literally put me through hell. I can't take my daughter to the park. I can't take her out to the movies. I can't even drop her off at preschool. I'm missing out on things like this and many, many more opportunities that I will never get back with her. In the last 14 months, I've only been able to see Avery 2 different times. I've missed birthdays, 2 birthdays now. I've missed Christmas. I missed Thanksgiving. I missed her 4th of July, Easter. She's potty trained now. She's learning Spanish. Things that I should be as a mother teaching her, and I didn't get to. I was addicted to heroin, but I'm 1 week away from my year sobriety date. I worked extremely hard, and because of that, I deserve to have Avery back. But my mom continues to portray me to our friends and family as a danger to Avery. In order to get Avery back, my mom's given me multiple terms and conditions. My mom's asked me to get clean and sober. I've been sober for a year now. My mom asked me to pass a hair follicle test, which I did. My mom required me to go to 9 DNA meetings within 90 days. I'm literally 5 meetings short from completing that task. My mom told me to get a job and maintain it, which I did, but then COVID happened. The last thing my mom asked me to do was take care of a 3-year-old warrant. I'm no longer on probation. I've bent over backwards, jumped through so many hoops to prove to my mom that I was fit and capable of raising my daughter, but none of the things I do are good enough for her. My mom keeps moving the goalpost and setting up new gigantic goals for me to accomplish. Now she's wanting me to come on the Dr. Phil show for his opinion. And clearly I've done that. I'm right here. At this point, she's wanting me to get off of methadone.
She's using methadone as a crutch.
She thinks I'm just getting high every day, and that's not what methadone's doing for me.
She just wants to be on it. I just think it's a Band-Aid.
She's completely wrong. She just doesn't care to understand it. My mom's made it very, very clear that she's not willing and will not relinquish her guardianship of Avery until I'm off my methadone program. My mom undermines me every step of the way. I'm completely fed up at this point.
Well, Gabe, it's good to meet you, and I'm glad you're here.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm all about the unification of families.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that children, when it is a healthy option or can become a healthy option, should be with their parents. And I have one goal here, and that is for your child, Avery, to be with you.
Okay.
That's what I want to happen. At the right time, the right place, I want that to happen. So you and I share that goal.
Okay.
We want your daughter back in your lap. I want her arms around your neck. I want you tucking her in at night. So we share that goal, okay?
Okay.
Now, I might be more objective about it than you are. I don't know, we'll see. Why do you think you are ready to have her back?
I've done everything over the last year that my mom's asked. I've maintained my sobriety this time. It's not like I just went through my 90-day program. She's extended it, and I've still passed the hair follicle test. I've still passed the UAs. And if I'm not ever given a chance to raise Avery or have her in my life, how's she ever gonna know if I can do it, or if I'm ready, if I'm not ever given the opportunity. So.
Okay, and you say there is just no reason that you shouldn't have your daughter, that your mother, she needs to be with you. You're the one that loves her the most. You have the bond with her. You're the biological link. She needs to be with you. No reason otherwise.
Correct, yeah.
She can keep moving the goal line as much as she wants, but there is no reasonable, logical, objective reason that she shouldn't be with you.
Not that I know of.
And you say that your mom lied and said that you could have Avery back after you finished treatment. And do you think that was ever her intention?
At first, I did think it was her intention until after she didn't bring her back, and then a new goal popped up, and then right after that one, I complete that, there's always something else. As a recovering addict, it's so important for me to see results, to keep me motivated, to keep me going. But I don't feel like my mom is contributing in a positive way. The fact that I don't have my little girl in my life, and my mom constantly is putting me down daily. It does pose a threat to my sobriety. I'm not sure if my mom just doesn't care or if she's just completely oblivious.
You say that your mom portrays you as a danger to your daughter, that she still thinks your decision-making, your problem-solving, your problem recognition, your choices are still so flawed that if Avery was with you, that you would be putting her in harm's way, that she would be in danger of your poor choices, your poor decision-making, that she would just be subject to being exposed to bad elements, that she might be left alone, neglected, not properly cared for. In fact, she says you locked her in a closet so you could leave.
I never locked Avery in a closet.
How would she know that you did that? I mean,
she heard it from one of my friends.
why would somebody say that if it's not true?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Her and I had a rocky relationship. We didn't get along very well.
So you think she was just trash talking you just to hurt you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so at this point, how did you feel about coming here? Is this just another hoop your mother has you jumping through?
I didn't want to come at first. It took me a couple weeks to actually decide I wanted to come, but it was basically my mom constantly asking, did you call back? Did you call him back? Did you call him back?
Well, here's the text exchange you had just a few days ago. This 6:30 a.m. I'm going on this dumb thing because you asked me to. So this is not something you're thrilled about.
No, it wasn't. I don't want everyone knowing everything about me. But it's something she wanted. It was something important to my mom. And she says it's for Avery, not her, but I feel like it's for her.
Right. So if it was up to you, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been here.
Okay.
But it's what she wants, and I just moved back across the country because she wants to try to be able to be near Avery. So.
Well, what's your plan about being here? Is it possible that you could create value by being here? Is it possible that I might be able to give you some information or action plan or steps or something that would get you what you want?
Yeah, and I honestly, I want to have a relationship with my mom again after what she's done with taking Avery. She's hurt me this last year so badly, and I don't want things to be like that between us forever, because it wasn't like that always.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. You said what she's done. One of the things she's done is to save your daughter from foster care, save your daughter from you when you were making really bad decisions.
She wasn't the only option, though. Avery had been with a different family member who I had lived with, and when I came back to Oregon before I relapsed, because I was going to go through my divorce, my mom had told me if I didn't bring Avery, because she was supposed to stay with a different family member, while I was gone, she was in school out there, daycare and everything. That's where we were for almost 2 years, and she was established and close to the other family. And if I didn't bring Avery with me, then she wouldn't pay for the plane tickets, and I had to have my son back for his visitation, and I had to be back to court for my divorce. So, and then I knew my divorce wasn't gonna go well. I knew it was a lot of emotions and a lot of things, and that's why I didn't want to bring her, but I couldn't afford to come out there on my own. So, and that was right before I had relapsed.
I think Gabe is a horrible mother. She's very selfish and she just cares about what she wants. She's basically an absentee parent. It became clear to me after I gave Avery back the first time that Gabe started using drugs again. When I would be FaceTiming her in the evenings, I would say, you need to feed Avery, she's crying. And she said, she eats at daycare. They feed her breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'd be like, you have to feed your kid too. You can't just let daycare feed your kid. My daughter said that she's never used in front of Avery, but I got a call saying that Avery was literally sitting on her lap when she was smoking heroin. I received a text message from her ex. He sent me a screenshot stating that she was using right now. She wanted him to pick up Avery. She literally said, well, I'm getting high right now. Can she stay the night with you then? Right then and there, I knew that whatever program she was on, it wasn't helping. Because of that, I took my granddaughter back into my home again. When I got Avery back, she was in pretty bad shape. Her eyes were sunken in and she just looked horrible. I found out a lot of disturbing things about Gabe's life. She took out 5 cell phones in Avery's name, opened up 5 credit cards in Avery's name.
I don't think I can do this.
Right now, her credit score is 647.
I can't do this.
The creditors were asking to speak to the credit card holder, and I kept telling them, she's 2 years old. She can't talk to you. I literally had to clean up my daughter's mess that she created for Avery. Gabe is taking advantage of her own daughter. She has done so many shady things. I really want her to have Avery, but right now, I just don't feel like she has the motherly instincts. I don't believe Avery would be safe in Gabe's care right now.
Okay, we're back and Becky's here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Just before we started, you got out of your chair, stool, and said, I can't do this. Does that mean you want to leave?
I'll try to sit through it. And do
Wow.
this. It's just
We
hard.
haven't even started, and you say you can't do this, but yet you want your child back?
It's hard to have everything from my past. Everything she said was all while I was actively using, and it was all over a year ago. And I'll own up to that. I've done horrible things whenever I was using, and I'm not proud of any of it. But
Well, I'm confused. Is this about you or about your child
my
and you getting your
child,
child back?
my child.
We'll see. And one of the things I know is that when people start doing drugs, particularly hard drugs in a hard way, that their emotional development is arrested. And so their emotional age is stunted. And so they function at that level. So if they start doing drugs at 13 or 14 or 15, then their emotional evolution stops at that age, and so they're functioning with an emotional age of 14 or 15, which is what I would expect someone when they hear something they don't want to hear. It's just like, I don't have to listen to this, I'm gone. As opposed to a mature adult who says, I'm here for my child. I will walk through hell. I will swim any river. I will climb any mountain. I will do whatever I have to get my child. And so and you're saying, I'm ready. I've evolved. I'm ready to take this step to become an active parent again. And the first time you hear something you don't want to hear, it's like, I'm out, I can't do this. But yet you think you can raise a child?
I had this 3-year-old warrant from 2017. It was for possession of heroin. That was one of my mom's requirements for me to be able to get Avery back. I came halfway across the country to my hometown to take care of this warrant, and I was extremely apprehensive about coming back home because that's where my world fell apart, and I just did not want to risk my sobriety.
When she came to town this last time to take care of the warrant, she actually took a friend of hers to go get heroin. Considering that she's trying to work to get her own child back, I don't know why she would put herself in that situation at all. It's just like, guys, she's not even close to ready for this. She's not.
You think you can raise a child?
I think I can raise my daughter. I'm actively involved with my other child.
Well, if you quit first time you hear something you don't want to hear, I don't know. So you think she's not ready, why?
There's many reasons. She So I've had Avery for 14 months, almost 15 months, and Gabe calls her maybe, it's been a little bit more recently because I've been on her about it, but she's gone 3 to 4 weeks without calling or FaceTiming her. She says, I don't want to have a relationship over the phone. We don't want to talk to you, so we're not going to talk to Avery because we don't want to be involved with you. And so I said, well, this is the only way you can communicate with Avery. If you don't want to see her, then you don't, I don't understand the reasoning. It doesn't make any sense to me. If I didn't have my child, I would be calling her every day. Since I've been here just for this weekend, I've called her every day, sometimes twice a day, FaceTimed her, checked in to make sure she's okay.
Where is she?
She's at my mother's house, her grandmother's house, great-grandmother for Avery. And she, even last night, I showed her a picture of her. My mom fixed her salmon, and she put a picture on Facebook and said, Avery's eating salmon, and she loves it. And I showed her, and she said, I don't want to see pictures of her. I don't want a relationship over the phone with her.
I want a relationship in person with my daughter. It hurts me to see pictures and videos constantly when I'm not being allowed to be involved in her life.
But it's not just about you. It's about her.
I know.
Well, apparently you don't. You're saying, I don't want to have a relationship with her over the phone. It's not just about you. She needs contact with her mother. That's what I said. I'm about unifying. I want you two together. And you're saying, I don't want to do this. What about her? What about her needing connection with her mother? And you say, well, I don't want to do it. It's not just about you.
Whenever I've tried to call her, a lot of the time, Avery, she's little. She doesn't really like being on the phone half the time. She'll be running around, but I do try. I don't try enough because it's hard. It's hard on me emotionally, yeah. But I should be more focused on how she's feeling.
See, this is one of the reasons that I'm glad you're here, because I'm hoping you're going to get things from talking to me, such as it's not just about you.
I know.
You're looking at it like, I don't want to do it. I don't want a relationship over the phone. I don't want a FaceTime relationship. I, which is not the point of view of a responsible parent. A responsible parent would say, I need to look at what my child's needs are. I need to meet my child where she is. I need to be there for my child. If it means sacrifices on my part, I'll make them. If it's tough on me emotionally, I'll endure it. I will do what's best for my child. That's putting your child's needs ahead of your own. But that's what I'm saying about, are you 14 or are you an evolved adult that has the ability to put your child's needs ahead of your own? I'm stunned at what I'm hearing. Now, I'm really curious here. You guys are talking about you're coming up with these tests for her. She has to show this and show that. You have legal guardianship, right?
Correct.
And you gave her back after 3 months?
Right. I give her back at
How did
Christmas.
you convince the court to do that?
I didn't. So the guardianship was all my decision. I could give her back when she was ready.
No. Have you read those papers?
Yeah.
Did the papers say, we're going to give you guardianship, and whenever you decide that it's over, you just don't need to call us, just give her back?
No, they didn't say that.
That is not what that said.
Well, the DHS person said, well, I could relinquish guardianship whenever I felt like she did everything that she was supposed to do.
No, that's not what you were told, and that's not what you signed, and that's not what the court said. That's not what the court order is.
Then I was apparently unaware.
Oh, you are very unaware. You are in violation of that court order, and both of you could lose custody of this child. You said, I've never done drugs while she was present. You have a report that she did heroin with her in her lap.
Correct. She's a friend of hers.
You dispute that, but that's a friend.
From a heroin addict who shoots up. That's who that report was from. because I didn't want to be around her or the people she was with. I wanted to be by myself.
Well, you sent a text message to the ex, well, I'm getting high right now. Can she stay the night with you? Don't tell Mom I relapsed. So that's a text message.
That was because I wanted my daughter's dad to be involved with my daughter because I was tired of doing everything by myself. He wants to be fully involved with her, and my mom will not respond to his text messages, his emails, or his wants or calls to be involved. And at the time, I just wanted some help. And it was a bad way for asking for help, but nobody was paying attention.
So you tell your mom, I'm following this person to a drug deal when you really weren't, and you send a text to this person that says, I'm getting high right now, can you take the baby? And
That's
when you
a
really
year ago,
weren't.
right before I relapsed.
So you tell people bad things about yourself. And then sure enough, when a month later, you tested positive.
When?
Well, you said I relapsed a month later.
Oh, yeah, back then.
A month after you sent that text.
Yeah.
You tested positive.
Yes. I knew I was going to test positive before I even flew out there because I was going through a divorce. I'd been married 8 years, was going through a lot. That's why I didn't want to bring Avery out there. I wanted to leave her with my family out there.
Because on 9/17/19, you tested positive for amphetamines, which would be consistent with the text that you sent that I'm using.
Yeah, but I didn't use then with my daughter. I said that so that he would go get her, so that way I could go out and do whatever I wanted and have a break. Because I knew I was going to go use. So I had him come get her.
You understand it looks really bad, right?
I understand, yeah.
You're saying and doing things orally and in writing that are very incriminating. And then when they follow up chemically, it confirms what you say is a lie, which makes it seem like it wasn't a lie, that it was the truth. It's just a matter of timing. You say, well, I was lying when I said I'm getting high right now. Can you take the baby? Well, and you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And you want this child back. And I'm staying the course. I want you to have this child back. And you can kid yourself, or we can get real and do what it takes to really get the child back. And if you really want the child back, I know what it takes to get the child back. I can tell you what you have to do to get the child back. I can lead you down the path to get the child back.
I have my papers. I've had them for 3 weeks, ready to go file for it, for the guardianship to end with her dad and myself. Whenever I was asking my mom for her back, it wasn't always just to have her back in my care. It was to have her back in Oklahoma, where I was living, with even a different family member, or to have DHS involved in her life, so that way I could have visitation and I could be involved. It wasn't just to go right back to my care ever. It was to go to the other family members' care who Avery grew up with the last 2 years and was bonded with, and who's a safe person and loves her, or just anything to get her involved. And my mom's just not willing to do anything so I can have any bond or relationship with her.
We're all out of time today, but there is a lot more to deal with, because we're talking about the life and health of a small child. And I take that very seriously. And by the way, there's another child floating around in this too, a 7-year-old son. Now, Gabe says using methadone keeps her from, and I quote, illegal activity. But Becky says, once again, that's just simply not true. Plus, another family member comes forward with some surprising things to say.
Tomorrow on Dr. Phil, a mother accused.
So you lied again?
I lied to my mom, yes.
To the guardian of your child?
Can she get her daughter back?
You've seen Avery 2 times in 14 months. You've missed 2 birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving.
I couldn't just take off from his work.
Have you opened up credit cards in your daughter's name?
Yeah, I did. How many times can you talk about the same thing over again?
Until you own it and stop saying, I would never do anything to harm my daughter.
That's tomorrow.
You're not going to want to miss this. And as I said, there are so many children being raised in grand families in America that you want to pick up your phone and call friends that may be in this situation, because we're going to talk about legal issues, practical issues, psychological issues, and get real about what's going on with these children being raised by their grandparents. Now, if you want more information about today's episode, log on to drphil.com. Now, we have a great group on Facebook. I mean, millions and millions of people that register on my Facebook. And I go on there and talk about the shows and answer your questions, respond to your comments, so we continue the dialogue and discussion at the end of the day once the show has aired. So join us, join the community on Facebook, because we'll be talking about what's going on. And we have some great discussions, and it really gives me some ideas about what you guys want to know and hear about. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can find me in those places as well. Don't forget to subscribe to Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret. We'll see you next time. So long.
Addicted to heroin during pregnancy, her mom has custody of her daughter.
You got out of your chair and said, I can't do this, but yet you want your child back?
And after what she's done with taking Avery,
One of the things she's done is save your daughter from foster care.
Next, Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.